All right, guys, look, here is the reality. The drug influencers are ruining health and fitness, full stop. If the dudes you follow are on that drug train and you're natural, this should be the nail in the coffin for you, and you should cut them out of your feeds. Unfollow. Performance enhancing drug use has no place in health coaching. These influencers online who are balls deep in drug abuse, they shouldn't be guiding others on how to get healthy or in shape. So I want to ask everyone a very, very simple question. Why? Why has drug abuse become acceptable in health culture, in the health and fitness culture? Because drug abuse gets rewarded when it produces a physique. So the influencers basically have normalized drug addiction into lifestyle brands. Listen, my dudes, drug abuse and health can't coexist. If they're abusing drugs, then this is a major red flag. Now, the culture of bodybuilding started off as a healthy endeavor, but it segued and has become deeply rooted in drug abuse. So bodybuilding, when drug-free, when you do it drug-free, it improves health. But what we're seeing now, it's not bodybuilding, okay? I call it something else. I call it steroid building. Now, I'm sure that you've seen the acronyms online. IFBB and NPC. And in my opinion, these terms, they are synonymous with drug abuse. They've become beacons to the world, and those beacons signal that abusing drugs for a muscular body is normal and acceptable. It's not. Yet these bodybuilders are praised as symbols of health. But this behavior represents dependency and addiction, not strength. And this leads us to the real playbook behind much of the fitness coaching industry. And honestly, it's been the same for years. Super simple. This is the playbook. Okay, so number one, if I could spell. Sometimes I wonder if I can spell. So number one, use drugs, get muscle, right? Drug abuse, get muscle. Two, lie. Lie and claim that you're natural. This happens a lot, okay? A lot of people are not forthcoming. It's kind of weird. It's becoming more transparent, but that happens a lot, okay? And as a result, they have fake credentials, basically. You fake your creds online and they look like you know what the hell you're talking about, right? And then the last one is they appear like they know what they're talking about. They sell coaching. Now, just because a dude is jacked doesn't mean they know how to coach. So a good physique, it doesn't mean that they can get your results. It doesn't equal coaching. All right? So we have two coaches, two types of coaches when it comes to this stuff. All right? So we have the drug-free coach. And we have the drug addict coach. So we have these two coaches, right? Now, the drug-free coach, they understand a few things, right? Recovery limits. They've had to deal with that because they don't have the drugs to help them, right? They understand that strength is required, okay? And they understand that intensity is also required. So this coach right here, this coach has to manage fatigue. They have to progress load intelligently. They have to control volume. They have to push hard. They have to respect recovery. Those stimulus variables have to be balanced. Because if they don't do that, they don't grow. Okay, so that's a coach who understands the muscle building process. Because the drug-free guys, they've had to learn how to build muscle without shortcuts. So to me, that's true knowledge. I don't know about you guys, but if you know how to build muscle on yourself or other people, right? I get it. I know you guys are going to come at me.
You don't even look like you even lift, bro. You don't even have muscle.
Okay, fine, cool, whatever. But I've gotten a lot of guys jacked. I've put a lot of people in shows. I've prepped them. So clearly I know how to recomp the body. Sit down. All right. So that's the reality of that. This group, coach or lifter, they have to understand how to build muscle naturally. All right. That's knowledge. That's what that is. Now, the drug addict coach, right? Obviously, they use drugs to build muscle. And usually, they get their clients on the crap too. Okay, so they know that recovery in anabolism is high because of the drugs. It's artificially elevated, right? They understand that strength progression. So strength is not required. They know that. And they can train sloppy and fast. Sloppy, fast, and still grow. Right? I mean, have you seen some of these guys train? Like Ronnie Coleman? Like everyone wants to emulate Ronnie Coleman, I swear. They just throw weight around. They train super fast. They CrossFit their reps. Like, you look at them and you're like, how are you guys growing? All right? So genes and drugs, genetics and drugs, that's what that is. And they also know that their intensity can be lower. It doesn't have to be hard training. The sets don't have to be hard. Now, in general, most people don't train that hard. But, you know, these bodybuilders, most of them don't train hard. So you see these guys that are jacked, they're huge, and they're like puffing around, you know, like they're doing fluff sets. It's like, bro, like how are you even making that muscle grow? There's no intensity there. And the reason is because of the drugs, right? So basically, they know that they don't need to train with intelligence because the drugs do a lot of the work They just have to go in and work out, right? So here's the problem. When this person, right here, lifter, trainer, coach, whenever they give advice, they're teaching you what works with drugs, not without, right? So it's with the drugs, and that's usually when that advice works, right? So when you copy their volume, their intensity, their frequency, and their lack of progression, honestly, so strength not required, right? You stall, you burn out, you stop growing because your physiology is not their physiology. So why are you going to take advice from someone whose results are driven from drug abuse if your goal is to stay drug-free? Doesn't make sense, right? Their drugs are doing the work. This is why they look the way that they do. If they didn't work so well, then nobody would abuse them. So when you're choosing a coach to follow or to hire, you got to ask some questions like, are they relying on drugs to progress? Do they emphasize strength to progress? Is it part of their program design? Can they explain why it works? Not just, it works, trust me, bro. Do their methods respect recovery? Or are they in the gym 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, and telling you to do the same thing? Right, that doesn't make any sense. So in my opinion, if that's the case, why are you listening to them? And follow them. Get them off their feed. You got to find new guys that are actually natural and give advice that fits your physiology, right? Not to mention, if you hire trainers like this, they might try to convince you to start taking this stuff. Happens all the time. And they'll tell you, it's not that bad. You'll be okay. They're drug pushers. And really, it's a win-win for them. Not only are they getting paid for training, but they hustle you to become your black market drug dealer, and they make a little bit off the top. So they push their drug rhetoric on you to further line their pockets. And if they don't push the black market drugs, they'll try to get you set up with their team of doctors and get you hooked on TRT. It's a very profitable market, guys. One that thrives on dependence, not health. And if you go on TRT, you're not coming off. So it becomes a lifelong subscription disguised as healthcare. And at the end of the day, these people, they don't have your best interest. They don't care about your health. So drug abuse isn't health. My advice is to learn how to navigate and optimize your life by doing it the clean way, the honest way, the healthier way.